Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1, the first episode, the debut episode,
The kickoff
episode of 3BT, which is Three Brothers Talking. It's an uncut conversation about life, of course, done by three brothers, as the name implies. I am David. I am your humbled host today.
I'm Andrew. I'm your learning to be a dad host.
I am Jeremy. I'm just moving the minivan host.
So I said humbled because my wife and I just recently moved to a new church, and I've all my life, for the most part, I've thought of myself as somebody who reads lots and lots and lots, even though Jeremy probably, I think, reads more than me, but all my life thought that I read a whole lot.
Got me beat on that one.
Yeah. But I met a guy at this church, and I followed him on Goodreads. We become friends on there, and instantly I'm taken aback by the fact that he is churning out 900, 1,000 page books like weekly. Like, it is insane. He is literally on a quest. He'll tell you this if you talk to him. He'll say, I am going to read the 20 longest books ever written. That's what I want to do. So it's completely humbling to me because my whole life I thought
single,
I did it.
Right?
No, he's married.
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
impressive.
doesn't have a kid though.
Oh, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, doesn't have a kid. He's married.
Challenging.
So yeah, that was humbling for me this week. My intellectual pride there took a hit, but that's fine. I can go ahead and be I can be not so crazy reading all the time. But Andrew, you're the learning to be a dad host this week.
Yeah, that and I feel like I'm just in a constant moving target of updating or for decorating for Christmas these days. And just always something new that the wife has come home with that I have to put together or something at this point. So putting together a home and getting to the Christmas season, I feel like hopefully we're almost there, but it's a moving target and it's a challenge.
We've all been married for about a year. The first month of being married, I think I did more decorating than I did my entire life before that. I think just in 1 month, right after you get married, you do more decorating than you do your whole life.
Just wait till you buy a house and then you're like, oh, we need more decorations for the ones we just placed. And also the first month we had all decorated, and my wife got back from being away for a little while, and we had to redecorate and rearrange all the furniture again.
There you go.
Well, you did it wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong.
She had picked it out. We needed
Things
to change.
Life changes.
We needed to change. And that's
exactly.
Fine. She's happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm the humbled host. Andrew is the learning to be a dad host because he's also not the only one in the room and in this amazing studio that we're in.
I'm the slightly more seasoned dad.
The slightly
just
more
edging
seasoned
you out slightly.
dad. Jeremy,
you are my wealth of knowledge for the 2 weeks you're a dad before me.
Yeah, Andrew's got a 2-week advantage on Jeremy in the dad department.
It all counts, folks.
And so Jeremy had to move the minivan right before we started.
Yes, because we have an important quest to get a pizza here in a little while, and we don't want our new minivan to be in the way of the other funner and faster vehicles.
New minivan life. Tell us what that's like, Jeremy.
Well, it's very, it has seat warmers, so that's really nice for my buns of steel. And it's a whole new ballgame because I've never had anything like that. I just had smaller cars, so I have to drive
high performance out of that.
High performance vehicle,
yes,
that's what it is.
The Kia will get you, and all the automatic features that it's funny
windows and doors.
It has a rear, like the rear sensors. If you put it in reverse, will just like they stay on as like there's something close by you, so it's always beeping. It's really funny.
So
it's extra cautious for you.
You should need to be extra safe when you're going in
this
reverse.
van just naturally, or it always beeps at you, even if you're driving forward.
No, just when you're in reverse, like the reverse sensors.
That'd drive me crazy if it was going
basically
forward.
Telling you to just never back up.
Never back up.
We only go forward, never move back.
Only drive forward. Yeah. You never move back.
Which is a lesson for life.
Exactly. We always move
First
forward.
lesson, episode 1, just gave it to you.
Exactly. So today we're going to talk about something that we all pretty much just completed not too long ago, which was the first year of marriage.
You did?
We all got married within the same calendar year, within a span of 5 months, I think.
Let me
Something
check.
like that. 5 to 6.
Let me check my calendar. Yep, that's what I got.
So June to September. So that's some kind of months. I can't do the math right now. So yeah, it
was pretty
it's
close.
Not 3 months. June, July, August, September is 4 months. 4 months. Come on. All right. So we all got married within a span of 4 months. Wasn't planned that way at the beginning of the year by any means.
Not at all.
But that's what it ended up like at the end of the year. And it's been awesome. So we just finished our first year of marriage. Jeremy was the first one there in June. And so Jeremy in the last proposal, we went reverse order and all this stuff. But Jeremy, you're the oldest and you were the first one to get married. So we're going to talk about, to start off, the biggest joy of the first year of marriage, because something I've realized is that we as Christians can be, we get real down about marriage, and we talk so much about how hard marriage is. You have to work so hard all the time. That's true. It's hard. We'll get to that, lessons that you learn through marriage, but marriage is still a lot of fun. There's still plenty of good things that happen. So first things first, what is the biggest joy that you thought of in this first year of marriage?
I think one, I'm going to go with two, if that's okay. Because
it's already breaking the rules.
I'm already breaking the rules. But let's go with the first one of just sleeping in the same bed with someone. Because the first,
this is a family program.
Hey, I mean, just sleeping there. That's all we're talking about, kids. I mean, we did just have a baby, so take that with what you want, I guess.
There you go. This is already PG-13.
Hashtag explicit.
Exactly. We're going to put the warning. We're going to put the warning on the program. But
no, just actually like being able to, because the first 4 months of our marriage, we were in 2 separate states. So being able to then get back into the swing of being like, okay, I can just roll over and actually see her or hear her breathe. And the other one is, which is more practical, I think, is just the aspect of being able to actually be yourself with someone. Having someone who's actually, it's safe to be you. It's safe to learn. It's safe to show grace and be shown grace to someone who's always been self-reliant. That's been a big joy. And someone is saying, hey, I need to do this thing, and here's why. It's like, yeah, let's do that and explore that. It's a whole new thing that I didn't anticipate within the first year, but a big encouragement to me. And that's just a testament to her.
I didn't even think, like, that's something that you date someone, even if you date someone for a long time, which a lot of people that end up getting married, they've dated for, quite a while. And still, I think there's this thing that happens once you get married where you still know the person way deeper than you ever did before. And that can be terrifying at times, but at the same time, it's really cool to completely let your guard down and to completely be yourself with somebody if that trust is there.
It's a very good thing. It's also very, like you said, humbling thing. And also, I would say one of those things that's still scary every time you do it until probably years down the road, I would say. Just saying, okay, what's going to happen if, and kind of learning that that's not part of your vocabulary anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And learning where that fits into the gospel in your marriage is kind of a bigger thing. If I sit there and say Ephesians 5, like, okay, this whole thing, if Christ loved me, I don't need to let my guard down there. So am I doing that here?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa, and learning what that really means.
And the whole time you're dating, even when you're engaged, even if you're super committed to each other, you don't really realize that you're still trying to be impressive to this person, and you're still trying to, win this person over. And then once you get married and you're actually there, like in the covenant, you've made the promises, then you're actually, for the first time in your life, you're in a situation that is romantic and also totally full of trust and totally without a need to impress anybody, which feels like the weight just comes right off your shoulders. But Andrew,
and it just ties to like how much you don't even realize how, like, in the dating process, because like I dated my wife for a while before engagement and marriage and all that, but you don't realize just the level that you don't know about the person until you step into that next phase either. So like Jeremy was saying, was just it just is like 2.0 as far as doing life with someone. And then I would say my biggest joy, part of just truly getting to the level of knowing my wife day in and day out and doing life with her day in and day out would just be the constant stability and support with that relationship. Because first year of marriage, no matter what stage of life you might be at with your spouse or whatever, it throws a lot of challenges and a lot of new things at you. Regardless, like for us, it was managing a household, managing a dog, a pet, trying to transition jobs for both of us, trying to, establish a new home within the first year, which are all super cool and challenge and amazing things that we were able to do. But it's just, challenges that I saw myself as far as like a leader goes, there are many times where like, you're supposed to be the head of the household, and I fell well short of that as far as learning lessons along the road. And I learned very quickly that like she's always got my back and stability in that relationship, and she's there to support me whether I fail at times or not, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that goes into talking about whether you fail or not, because that goes into one of the things I think was my biggest lesson right away about marriage was how easy it is to, for me, the first thing I learned was how you completely are now in a situation where you have an opportunity like never before to easily and constantly sin against somebody, especially just because you're living with this person. You're closer with them than you've ever been with anyone else in your life. And so for me, that just took the form of how I communicated. And if I ever used words to cut people down, if I didn't use words graciously, I didn't do any of those things, which, knowing me, like that's an easy thing for me to do, is to use words to respond harshly to people. And thankfully, God gave me a wife who is really patient. And she also is there whenever I do something like that. She'll just stop me and just say like, you need to, that's not how you
just
can
call you out.
Yeah, exactly. Like you cannot do that. And you learn about the challenge of then things that in the past, because you're never that close with somebody else in the past, you never think to even apologize sometimes for a random word that you let slip out, or, like the random, not an insult, but that random kind of cut down that you do to somebody.
Yeah.
You never really need to do, like Andrew and Jeremy and I lived together a couple different times, and obviously we lived together when we were growing up, but when there were times when I would say something stupid or a joke went too far with one of you guys, there was never a need to really apologize for it, because we're all kind of guys.
And we all just moved on.
You all just move on and you just kind of laugh it off. And there was never a feeling of real deep offense, even if it really happened. But whenever you get married, your words do matter. And, feelings of people do matter. And that's just a tool that God uses your wife to help you grow and to be more Christ-like. And that's something I'm incredibly grateful for. In addition to kind of going along with what Jeremy said, the thing about having, someone to be there in bed every night with, it's more than that. It's also someone to be there every single day with you. And it's so much better to live life with somebody that's actually there every single day, even though like my wife is a nurse. So like there's plenty of days where we don't really see each other, but at the same time, still knowing like we're in this together and all that, knowing day in and day out that forgiveness is going to be there and that patience is going to be there. And also when I need it, that correction is going to be there, is this weird combination of joy and lesson all at once. Because if I didn't get married, I know for a fact that the things that God has taught me in the last year, I don't know that I ever would have learned, because having someone that I was married to live with, and her heart was there to point out the things in me that needed to grow. So that's something that challenged me this year, but it also made the way for tons of joy, because it feels like, James 2 talks about getting a rein on your tongue. It feels like that's finally actually starting to happen in my life, which is a really good thing. I'm happy that's happening.
We're all thankful for that, David.
Exactly. Jeremy, what was like a lesson that you learned this year?
I think going back to what you said, actually, you don't have to be impressive all the time. One of the things I think we all go into, like when we're dating or just in general in life, is you keep this front up of like, okay, I'm this not necessarily perfect, but I have so much together. That you just don't think you really put out there, but it's there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you go so far and let you be this far in, but at the same time, you can't understand when my guard is really down. But the freedom that really comes into that when you don't know is actually very freeing, or you're saying, okay. And even the fact of being able to sit there and watch something stupid for hours on end and being like, wow, we enjoyed The Office. Let's just do Office quotes. That's, I think, one of the biggest joys in our life right now, especially having a kid and we're not doing a ton, being able to just chill out at home and enjoy each other's company and read books with someone, not necessarily going out, but just being.
You don't have to do things anymore. If you heard a noise there, that was Andrew's dog reacting to the fact that Andrew's wife, Kaylee, just became our hero and she's leaving to go get the pizza.
She is such a great wife.
She's getting the job done. She's the hero tonight.
Married up, folks.
That's
Married
right.
up.
Definitely.
Yes. So Lucy, the dog, is having a trouble. She always just has a trouble time when people leave
Not
the
only
room.
is she getting the pizza, she's taking the boy with her to get the
Oh,
pizza.
really?
So like,
That's good.
I'm even off duty.
She
for
didn't
a
leave.
little bit.
She didn't just leave.
She could have.
She didn't leave your baby with Jeremy's wife.
She could have just dumped him in my lap. If you think about that,
Exactly. Just walk up, and then your baby would be on the podcast.
It's a completely different podcast with both of Micah and Lincoln. on.
Exactly. You could have both the kids on here. That's we'll save that for the second episode. But
that's a little teaser.
that's a little teaser.
I think that's definitely a episode 2 content.
Exactly. That's a classic episode 2 topic. So, Andrew, you got a little bit into the lessons that you learned earlier, but give us another one. Things that you learned first year.
I would think really the thing that stuck out to me is, and this isn't to sound like as far as like putting myself down or just making myself lowly, but really the level of selfishness that is revealed in the first year of marriage is just kind of unreal. It's insane. You don't realize that just how much selfish desire is really within you, just as a result of just our nature being born into this world. And then also just even living life, even if you're growing up with siblings or no matter the household, really largely doing life in and amongst yourself growing up, or as far as dependent on only yourself. It really it breeds just this sub level of selfish desire and stuff that really fleshes its way out in that first year of marriage. And truly the biggest lesson learned is just like to heed that really how it says that the two shall become one flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And really heeding that Kaylee's desires need to be elevated, communicated clearly, and they need to become one with my desires and elevating her. And even when I don't fully realize like when I'm wanting to push for something, you don't even fully realize whenever you're not doing life with someone else, just how much of that motivation really is stemming from something that is not healthy. So
you have no idea how selfish you are until you get started. And that was, your selfishness is on display. I mean, you can have fights about anything. You can have fights about where the cups are in the cupboards or just random stuff like that. The kind of, the brand of some kind of food that you buy. you can get into and it's so weird because then you're just sitting there thinking, why in the world do I care so much?
And the other part of that is just how it's truly revealed how you spend your time and like how much of your time still it has to learn to just be in this new state of co-living and living dependent on another, with another person. Whereas like all your decisions, you realize very quickly that if you're still making these choices and spending your time in a certain way, just how much of that is fleshed out in that underlying selfish desire that's just rooted in wanting to do life yourself.
Yeah.
So
you have no idea how. I don't know who said it. Probably some smart person said it at some point, but that I read it somewhere, I think. But that you just don't know how selfish you are until you get married, and then I've heard that you really don't know how selfish you are until you have kids. So you guys are both learning that lesson now, but I'm not quite to that lesson yet. That's definitely the wake up call right away. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm fairly confident, but that'd be a surprise to all of us. That'd be crazy. And then we'd have a different episode to record and all that.
Fortunately, they're still sleeping quite a lot these days. So
yeah. The kids are still during the day.
To be determined as far as lessons learned on that end.
Exactly. Yeah. Something that we've talked about a little bit in between Rachel and I have been trying to set goals like every year. Because we've kind of just realized that if you don't really set goals a lot, you tend to just drift a lot. And so we're looking at next year. And one of the big things for us was wanting to apart from financial goals where we're getting out of the rest of our debt from college loans, which if you haven't gone to college, don't get any loans. They're bad. They're not fun. But
we have Dave Ramsey on the podcast.
Exactly, Dave Ramsey. He's going to be the special guest next week. But
even you can purchase financial peace. No,
exactly. We're going to get a royalty for everything sold off of that. But so we're talking about trying to get in the habit of being really hospitable and being open to people, because something that doesn't come naturally to most people, and it doesn't come naturally to me, it comes really naturally to Rachel, is opening our home, having people over, giving them meals, sharing our time with people, trying to care for people. I'm far too selfish to think of that naturally. And so we set out from the very beginning. We talked about when we were dating about how both of our moms were so good at always having an open home for guests, for people that people always felt welcome. People always, and that was an opportunity for ministry to those people and for caring for those people and just for tons of fun. So we're looking forward to that in the next year, to getting better at that. And it's got challenges and all that stuff, and life gets busy and all that. But at the end of the day, that's something that we think we really want to do. So Andrew, you got something in the next year that you and Kaylee are looking at.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have thoughts and communication together about what we want to see in the next year. I mean, short term, day to day, we want to see our boy grow healthy within the next year. But even beyond that, we've talked I've really been challenged within the last year, just on how to prioritize my time. And I saw myself go down a little bit of a road where I was kind of, I don't know if I was fully overcommitted, but I definitely did not prioritize Kaylee, time with Kaylee as much as I should have early on in our marriage. And even now that's elevated even more that we have a new son in the world as well. So in the next year, I definitely want to see growth in the fact that I'm, as far as my personal commitments, I do a lot of, whether it's a worship team with church, whether it's my, activities with soccer coaching and my work commitments and wanting to take on so many challenges and stuff, to have a challenge for myself to really get Kaylee more involved, either in those outreach opportunities and stuff like that we are doing it together. And then also cutting back overall and just being able to say no to certain things and elevating the time that I'm spending with my family, raising our boy and with Kaylee, who I need to pour into within the next year. And I think we both are in agreement on that I tend to spread myself too thin. And even that, allowing time for resting and growth, so that I have more time just to be at peace and to be, just calm in the matter of a day. So that's really what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you said as far as spreading yourself too thin to some, or drifting into something, just because that's what Faith and I have talked about, being able to, and one of our goals this year is learning to rest from the standpoint of not being always plugged in, putting my phone away, and actually prioritize time differently. And also learning a little better how I can prioritize time with her and what she feels loved versus what I feel loved. I'm very much more of a doer person. Yeah. She's much more of a quality time and okay, how do these things work together when I know stuff needs done? And I think that would show more love.
We are checking every box right now. We mentioned Dave Ramsey. Andrew said the word doing life together earlier.
And the 5 love languages.
The 5 love languages. This is
the trifecta.
Exactly. This might as well be sponsored by Lifeway or something like that.
Lifeway Publishing or Zondervan.
I don't even know who published. I wonder who published the 5 love languages.
Gary Chapman wrote it. That's the only thing I know.
Dave Ramsey, he's got self-publishing, but yeah. Anyway, we're not sponsored by Lifeway. If Lifeway wants to sponsor us, cool. You go ahead and give us a call. Yes. Anyway, you were saying, Jeremy.
Well, just prioritizing differently. And I think functionally one thing that I've been going through, Faith and I've been talking about, so some changes we want to take is kind of risking more, that we found ourselves kind of comfortable in the way of, and I think we all do, is we're comfortable in certain things and we often trade good for what could really be a great thing, because we're kind of not necessarily scared to take the plunge, but really say, God, if you're really good let's do something here, and trusting him like way more than we do functionally. And that's with that's with her and I talked about potential jobs or just ministry opportunity stuff I feel called to do, and how we can encourage each other to do those things in the next year. And actually not even just talk about it, to actually make changes to do it is the fun part.
That's the hard part, right?
That is, especially when you have another person, you're doing it like you and I have talked, David or Andrew, like, okay, we're going to do this change. And this is what this means for not only me, but now Faith and now Micah, a third person. It's like, okay, this is a much bigger impact. Do I really trust a provider? And I think that's one of the big things I want to prioritize more is us trusting. And that's not really a goal per se. I don't know how you do that tangibly.
20 units of trust per month.
I've trusted 20 times this week, so that's a check, a gold star for me.
Exactly.
I can set up a spreadsheet for you if you want.
Andrew will get a spreadsheet going for
credits
Jeremy.
and debits there.
Credit 3 trusts.
Yes.
Yeah. That's that kind of what you talked about, the good versus great thing is huge, because it is so easy to just kind of drift and go about life at a comfortable pace. Meanwhile, God has bigger things often, I think, in store for us, but it does take focusing, like Andrew said, it takes focusing on less things that maybe are a little bit outside of that, getting rid of some of those things, focusing on things that are important, making those a priority, letting God grow those and speak those. So I'm excited for that, how that comes to, in all of our marriages, how that comes to a head next year. So, yeah. You got any other things over there? You look like you're about to say something.
I have nothing else to say except for this has been a lot of fun.
This has been. We talked through stuff into a computer.
Real conversations
in this amazing studio.
I got one quick hit recommendation.
You got a quick hit. We'll do those right now. So Andrew, what's a quick hit?
Hot take.
A hot take. Actually, we should do a hot take thing.
Hot take.
This won't be it, but we should actually do a hot take.
Well, this is
thing.
kind of a hot take, but
are you giving a hot take?
Have a baby.
Have a baby. Okay.
But only if you have a godly woman and you are in the confines of marriage.
Then that is a hot take.
I'm just saying. Babies are awesome. It's been my little boy Lincoln is now officially over a month.
There you go. We did it.
We have
1 month.
We have not, screwed him up to
in
this
a month.
point. Yeah. So
you're not cursing at you yet.
Yeah. There's no.
He's still eating, sleeping, and pooping. So
that's how we do it.
All boxes checked. But I'm just saying it reveals a lot. And if you're on the fence or whatever, like God will teach you a lot through having a baby. Just if you're at that stage in life. But
it was you said it was a hot take, and then you just said have a baby. And I'm like, that's not a hot take. Then you said after you're married, that is a hot take. Yeah.
We're so counterculture.
For 2018, that's a hot take.
Yeah. It's better. Trust us, it's better.
Man, you're so wise.
Jeremy, quick hit it.
Quick hit. I'm just going to recommend anything by Cliff Graham because I've really enjoyed a few of his books.
You kind of took one that I was going to give probably next week or something.
That's my hot take, so you need another one. But I'll just do the one book. Okay. When the other books, the only ones I've read so far. But I really enjoyed Shadow of the Mountain, so enjoy it. I'm trying to read more fiction and not just deep theological books because that'll burn you out a little bit. They're good, but so yeah, Cliff Graham and Shadow of the Mountain is a good, fun, enjoyable, very intense read.
It's fun when you read. I just finished it. When you read about the character stuffing his fingers into the eye sockets of another character because he's getting choked. Well, that is very fun.
And it's interesting.
We're on a different end of the podcast.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. No, but I'm going to echo what Jeremy said because Cliff Graham is awesome. His books will redefine for you what Christian literature can be because it's more than just Amish romance novels and pansy books.
When is the movie really coming out? Because they were talking about movies.
Yeah. He's supposed to have a movie based off of his book, like Line of War or something like that.
Yeah, I did some show prep.
Do you have the capabilities in the studio?
Can we get our big producer?
Yeah, exactly. Our producer is looking up,
which is Jeremy's left hand.
Exactly.
Jeremy's left hand. Let's look for the release date. Andrew, can you?
Now it's his right hand. There we go. Now it's both. There we go.
I'll take the mic.
Yeah, we currently have 2 microphones, so that Andrew and Jeremy have been passing back and forth. So Jeremy's in the producer half of the studio.
I'm technically mic number 2 as far as that goes because I've had it the majority of the time.
You just started out holding
Yeah,
it.
Andrew's
so.
just really good at holding things. He's good.
I picked it up first.
He has 2 more weeks of holding experience more than me.
Exactly.
But as of now, according to my vast abilities, just research
Got
things.
some research.
It does not have a release date yet, but it is a franchise, and they will be doing more than one installment.
That was the news music.
That's pretty exciting.
All right, more than one installment.
Yes, that's what it's saying. There's also a digital comic book. Just go to cliffgraham.com and you can read some stuff.
I wonder if they're going to be rated
Shameless
R.
plug.
It's good.
I'll be honest.
He's not paying us for that.
They are not.
Not a sponsor.
I just hope that they are true to what the book would say.
Yeah, man. Like
That's what I care about. Not some. Let's just go with not a cheesy Christian version of it.
Yeah,
But actually, originally the guy from Taken was supposed to be producing.
Oh, I thought you meant Liam Neeson for a second. That'd be
Lots
a
of
sick
throat
movie,
punches.
man.
He's
You
not
kidding
in
me?
there.
Can you imagine
if
Liam
you're expecting
Neeson?
that, I want to
Liam
shatter your
Neeson
hopes right
playing
there.
the part of King David, like taking down Goliath. I will.
We
pay
should
for that
actually one of
movie
these
right now.
podcasts do like if a movie character
He's too
movie
old.
actors and like Christian adaptations
Yeah.
of Bible stories. That'd be a fun discussion.
Here's the problem with Liam Neeson. Okay, this is the one reason why
Wow,
Liam
we are on
Neeson.
a tangent now.
That's fine. This is the one reason that
Qui-Gon
Liam
Jinn.
Neeson is never going to play David. He's too old.
He is old.
He's too old for it now. Like
What is
maybe
he? He's
may-
60s now.
maybe
isn't
Liam Neeson
he? Is he
right
60s?
after.
Or is he late 50s? He's probably
Let's go to
60s.
our producer.
I can look it up. Hold on 1 second.
All right, let's get. We'll get to that from the producer.
I think I'm guessing 60s.
62. No,
He
wait,
is
50
66 years old.
66.
Wow.
He is. I wonder if he's got grandkids.
He's
and
still
stuff.
looking great. Still looking great.
Still looking. Is he? I don't know. I haven't seen him in a movie
I mean,
since.
according to the Google results.
What was the last Liam Neeson movie you saw?
One of the Takens, probably.
Did you see any Taken other than the first one?
Yeah, I think I don't know. They went downhill quick.
I only watched the first one.
The first one was decent, then they just
I
went
didn't
downhill.
understand the idea.
Sorry if you're a big Taken series fan,
Yeah,
but they're not that great.
I think
just
that's
so you
one
know.
series that has no super fans.
I think that we have. Well, you had like Taken, and you had like the airplane version of Taken. He's actually Pilgrim's Progress in 1978. He was Jesus Christ, the evangelist. So that might.
There's a Pilgrim's Progress movie
in
I can't even
1978,
talk.
according to my research, my extensive research from Wikipedia.
All right, dude, I'm watching that. So you know what that means? He's a Christian.
Yeah,
He
must be.
Pilgrim's Progress.
He
He's
must
ready to
be.
play David now.
Mark it down,
But
folks.
nowadays, like if you saw the last that last Marvel movie where they did the Samuel L. Jackson, like made his face look really young, they could probably do that with Liam Neeson. So he could still play David, at least for the David and Goliath thing. But Liam could play old, grizzled David.
He doesn't need
King
it.
David now.
Yeah,
Because he's already, he could probably already got the look. He's got to get his skin probably a little bit darker.
You rate him better
but-
than Clint Eastwood, you think?
Oh yeah.
Would you
Oh
take,
no.
as far
Clint
as
Eastwood,
as far as like the character he plays goes, would you take
Well-
Clint Eastwood or Liam Neeson?
I would rather have Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood has done his work as like a director
in
too.
their best day.
I'll take Clint Eastwood.
I would take Clint Eastwood as well, except for if we're only using throat punches, then Liam Neeson takes the cake.
Liam Neeson has exactly one. This is a hot take. He
Or
has
a lightsaber.
exactly one good movie, and that's Schindler's List.
I thought it was Star
And
Wars.
here's the thing.
That's
I'm
a
saying
true
that
story.
I've never seen Schindler's List in my life.
No, it's
But I
pretty good.
know that it's respected enough
Yeah.
that it's
It's pretty
movie.
good.
So
But he did work alongside great people like Jar Jar Binks and Star Wars Episode 1.
He was Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh man,
We're not going down that road.
I forgot about that. Yeah, man, that would be.
I'm going to cut us off at that point.
If we existed in the same universe where Qui-Gon Jinn and King David were the same person, that'd just be insane. My quick hit is gonna be the Need to Breathe acoustic album. Need to Breathe is a great band. They put out an acoustic album that's live.
Quality.
Where it's from a live concert. They didn't use any backing tracks or anything like that. Their vocal harmony is amazing. And Lucy's barking at us, which means that it's time to wrap the episode up. So this has been the first episode. If you liked it, that's cool. Tell somebody you liked it. We don't have any fancy stuff set up. So
Like, share.
if you
subscribe.
hated it, that's fine. Whatever. We'll see you next time that we talk. It's Three Brothers Talking, 3BT.
See ya.
See you next time.